Welcome back to the B Team Podcast. I'm your host, Josh Saffran, with our permanent guest. I'm flipping it around today, and my newfound friend. We have a contract squabble all behind us, Mr. Rob Nelson. Welcome back.
Yeah, the viewers, all the comments came in, and they said that they wanted to see a true, sincere apology from you.
And I'm sorry.
I mean, it's kind of weak.
Can you guys hug it out or something?
Can we hug it out?
Well, you got to apologize first.
Rob, oh, that's a nice chain. That's very nice. That's a nice chain. Wow. Out of my pay league.
Okay, let's get back to the show, guys.
Our co-host, Mr.
Matt Morris.
Matt, good to have you back.
I'm back.
Good to have you back. Because you're here all the time.
Yeah,
Matt never left.
I never left.
But I was trying to kind of preempt the fact that he may leave us at some point.
Well, I mean, when you and I decided to do this with Rob, we thought, we were a team and we would all be here all the time.
Host.
We've had some issues.
Co-host. And then?
Yeah, we don't know yet. He's saying he's back. We think he's back.
We'll see. We'll see if Josh, what his behavior looks like.
But anytime we bring you pizza, you're going to stay.
Oh, I mean, you talk my love language.
And I want to welcome, again, the B Team Podcast, Bourbon, Benville, and Business. And we got a double B in Ben Biesenthal today.
That's right.
Which we've had that a couple times with Ben Blakeman. We've lucked out with a couple of business owners that got the B's in their name.
Right.
Well, welcome. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, thanks for having us. Me? I guess not us.
And we'll talk Grubbs, we'll talk Gusanos, we'll talk pizza, we'll talk liquor stores.
Yeah.
All that.
I'm good
stuff.
with all that.
I know. Well, let's talk here. Matt, what do we got today?
We got some Sazerac rye whiskey from Lisa over at Sazerac.
That's Sazerac. Shout out.
Boom. We're synced up.
Synced up.
I mean, you guys are back.
We're back.
Yeah. We had some dark days, but
Ben, we had a breakup. We had a contract squabble.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Now we're back.
And I'm on the reunion.
You're on the reunion tour.
You had to see the reunion.
Excellent.
Josh was just having a day.
Right.
So
It happens.
Thank you.
Rob,
He forgot I was Italian, so he got that side of me.
we had a whole Rob. He ripped up his contract. It was a whole deal.
Oh, you got more on the table than you did in your glass with that boy.
I know.
That was pretty bad.
Sorry.
You're okay. So the Sazerac rye. So this is one of the only items that they make that is not allocated that you could actually get. And I'm not a huge rye fan, but now in your liquor store, you get able to get this regularly?
Not regularly.
No. This is tasty.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that it's readily available. It's just started to get a little bit easier.
But out of all the Sazerac stuff, this is the easiest to get, not right?
Well, cheers.
I mean, Rob's not. He doesn't even argue with me.
Right.
Let's get to tracking. I don't talk about it.
I don't know what's in the contract, but he doesn't even argue anymore.
Yeah, let's go.
That was one of the
You
clauses.
must have really paid up.
That was a clause.
It went from 1 bourbon to 2 bourbons.
See, I don't normally like the ryes. I do like that quite a bit.
It's pretty good.
That's good.
It's good, right?
I think my glass may be leaking a little bit.
Oh, it's the glasses' fault. Ben, you got the face.
Yeah. I think it's pretty good.
It's edible.
Yeah.
Drinkable.
Yeah. I'm not a connoisseur of bourbons. Starting to like them more and more, and learning more about them as I go. And
What's your drink of choice normally?
it was Busch Light, but
Now we're talking.
You had the wrong hat on today.
Right.
Yeah. The Busch lattes. I like this.
yeah, they're refreshing.
Yes,
yeah,
they are.
great.
They are.
But I've tried to steer away from the beer a little bit this year, and switch to vodka or something.
More healthy.
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, at least that's what we tell ourselves, right?
Yeah.
Vodka and soda.
That's right.
We're hydrating and drinking at the
That's
same
it,
time.
yeah.
2
Squeeze
for
a lime in there, and
That's
I'm
it.
good to go.
Yeah.
Yep.
Low cal.
Yeah, but no, I have started to enjoy bourbon more and more.
There you go.
It's not my go-to, but I'm learning.
Matt's got the coolest bourbon selection in his home, and occasionally we'll get him to fess up and bring a bottle in.
Right.
And it's like I'm not sure if I should open this. We'll get like 19 texts like, "You sure you want me to bring the bourbon in today?" And it's the best one ever because it's Matt's.
Right.
And whether I like it or not, I'm like, this is just delicious.
It always tastes better when it's free.
Yeah, when it's free, it doesn't matter as much. Now, I think for me, I like to use rye in an old fashioned because then it's not as sweet.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. I don't normally drink it like this, but this is actually very tasty.
It's good.
I added a touch of water to mine, which was
You did?
the old rust trick.
Oh.
Why don't you share some
You
water
got your own water over here? There's another one.
Well, thank you.
Oh, thanks.
Let's see.
Yeah, a touch of water. Little
Couple
rust
drops.
trick.
The old
That's what
rust
we
trick.
learned on a few episodes.
That's right.
Yeah.
Earlier on. Oh, man.
Whoa.
Like a touch of water.
Whoa. That was better.
So for this big collection,
Yes.
how did you get it?
Great
Well,
question.
so
A lot of time.
during
Carrie might watch this.
during COVID, I kind of became obsessed with stuff, and that was what filled the hours of the day. I'd find them and
Buy them.
and it was the whole thing.
But like
All
every
secondary market type stuff.
every day, stuff was showing up at the house, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And
I think we were all guilty of
We
that
were.
during COVID. I mean,
So we would just, we'd be on, you'd be online and you'd find whatever bottle and bid on it at auction. And
walk me through the conversation in the house when it shows up and it's addressed to you, and Carrie sees the box and she's like, "Another box of bourbon!" Like, how bad was that conversation?
it was bad. I just, when I knew stuff, when I knew 2 or 3 were coming the same day, I would try to be home 2 or 3 times to try to intercept before they got to the front door.
What was the success rate on that?
It was hit or miss.
it'd be like when you were skipping school and you tried to get the phone call at nighttime before your parents would pick up the phone.
Exactly.
And does she go into the private area to see how many bottles that you have?
Well, our private area is like our safe room also. So Carrie always, her joke is, she's like, I mean, if we lose the house and the family, at least the bourbon will be okay. And I told her, I was like, if we have to get in there, we'll get in there.
So I can only imagine when like the tornado warning's coming, you're like, oh crap, because Carrie's going to be reminded of how many bottles of bourbon I have. So there'll be a different kind of tornado coming.
Yeah.
Matt's probably more worried that they're going to run in there and break a bottle of bourbon than the tornado.
No,
itself.
that too.
That's
It's pretty, I mean, it's fun to collect them because it's kind of like, it's like cars or anything else. Everyone has.
Once they stop making them.
There's always these coveted ones that it's so hard to get, and whenever you get one, you're calling all your buddies, and you might have paid X for it, but you tell them you paid this, and then they're all like, "Oh, how'd you get that?" And you're like, "I don't know. It was just there, and I got it."
Yeah.
I remember a few episodes
Matt dropped
ago.
a 0.
Remember a few episodes ago, he said he'd bring in one of those bottles for us to drink too.
Oh, yeah.
That hasn't happened.
Yeah.
I've run a few in, but
Not those.
not.
I mean,
not
I brought
that.
the special juice in that one time in the crystal vase.
Rob has donated nothing to the show. Let's
Zero.
Hey,
He donated a drain pour is all he donated.
And I
I'm
was
building a new bar, so I got to keep my stock.
Yeah.
To fill the shelves.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk to Ben because I can
this
see he's
isn't
ready.
going anywhere.
Yeah, he's ready to get
Oh,
out
no,
of here.
I'm enjoying it.
So Ben, the founder, the CEO, the godfather of Gusanos and Grubbs. Pretty
That's
much.
correct. Yep. I mean, I have partners, and so it's definitely not.
Don't
so
give him any credit.
So it's definitely not all me. His name's Grubb. That's what we call him. It's not his real name, but nobody knows his real name except for about 3 or 4 of us, so we just keep it that way. And he more so founded Grubbs, and I more so came up with the recipes for Gusanos, but we decided to partner and do restaurants together, and here we are.
How many Gusanos are there now?
There's 8 Gusanos, and there's 2 Grubbs.
Wow.
We sold the one in Fayetteville in front of Target during COVID, when we weren't allowed to have customers in.
Actually, pizza.
Longhorn made an offer on the buildings. I was like, well, okay.
Yeah.
We didn't know our future, so we took the deal and said thank you. Yep. So been doing it for 20 years now, and that's what I do.
I remember a long time in the restaurant business.
It is. It's been fun though. I can't complain about it. It's got me to where I am now, and that means everything.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, my kids are who they are because I did business first and family later in my life.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't change any of it.
He's on the B Team podcast. I mean,
here,
it's-
I mean,
right. He's made it.
Look where he's gone in life.
Right.
You ever think
Well,
you'd be here?
I think maybe we're almost making it because he's here. I think it's the other way.
Yeah, I know.
But I was just saying, I remember when I first moved here, like this was the place to go.
Right.
And the cool thing is 13 years ago, it's still the place to go.
Right.
Right. Which is so cool because we talked to Brenda from River Grill about a similar thing. Like, how do you keep your longevity when there's new restaurants popping up all the time?
Right.
And everyone's like, do you want to go to Gusano's? Last night.
Yeah.
Where we going to dinner? We're going to Gusano's. Like, it's still cool 20 years later. That's awesome. Walk me through that.
I appreciate that. And, I mean, I think that for every restaurant that's going to be successful, just like any business, I mean, you got to have a good product, right? I mean, if the product's not good, unless there's some sort of gimmick attached, then what's the draw? And so for us, I feel like our product is quality. I mean, that's, when you start a business, you make the choices of what you want to do. We chose a higher end cheese, a higher end ingredients, the whole nine, and charge a higher price for it, knowing though that's what we were catering to. I grew up in Chicago, and every time my dad had a softball game or we got done, whatever the event was that day that was some sort of sporting deal, we all just went to the local pizza place, and the Blackhawks were on, or the Bulls, which I don't like either of those teams, but for a different podcast. And we ate pizza, and we hung out, and the guys drank pitchers of beer that were of legal age, and us kids were drinking sodas and maybe playing an arcade game or two to keep busy. But it was kind of dark, long, narrow buildings. It just felt comfortable. And so I went to the University of Arkansas, and there's good pizza. And honestly, for those of you who've been to Chicago, ever heard of Portillo's?
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Oh, I lived in Chicago.
And so when I moved here, I'm like, well, where's the Portillo's?
Oh, yeah.
And they're like, what's that? I was like, well, I got to get an Italian beef. And they're like, what do you mean, like a roast beef sandwich? I'm like,
Yeah.
no, I wouldn't have said roast beef sandwich if that's what I meant. But anyway, so it just kind of started this idea in my head of like when I was 23 that we're going to do something at some point, right? And so created a file called Windy City Pies, and there we go. But that's kind of what I was building towards, was trying that feeling I had when I was a kid, right? And then 20 years later, you do have to do things along the way, right? I can remember the first restaurant in Little Rock where we literally took plywood, painted them, put 4 chains from the ceiling down to hold those big, bulky TVs, right? That were like 90 pounds, right?
And $5,000. Yeah.
Exactly. Now they're $200.
Yeah.
32 inches, and I had them hanging at 12 feet. I don't even know how we saw them, but it was amazing, right? It was so cool.
Look at it. We're going to Gusano's to watch the game.
That's right. And you just bring your bifocal, But obviously that kind of stuff has improved with technology. But during COVID, when the doors were shut, I started ripping stores apart and coming up with new interior, just changing the whole look, just trying to stay fresh, just trying to make it feel like, okay, cool, we're at a new place, but we're at our old favorite place type deal, and so you add mobile apps and just rewards now, as technology changes, we try to keep up instead of be the grandpa.
It's funny you bring that up with COVID, because I remember your store in Bentonville. We went in there and they were like, he's had us, we've never remodeled, but he's like, you had all the staff like helping do a lot of that stuff to keep them working.
Yeah, we had
and
nothing.
they were like, we just decided to remodel while we were, so it was cool.
Which is brilliant.
And they loved it. They're like, I've never done any of that.
Yeah.
It was fun. So
I'm lucky I've got the tools, and I'm like, all right, hey, see this wall right here? That in order to hang every board to make this wall done, we need a lot of time.
Yeah.
And we got a lot of time, so let's do it.
Which is brilliant though, because I mean, when you're running gunning, it's tough to shut down a store for a few weeks.
That's
to
right.
remodel.
Yeah, we which we've had to do. A few of the other stores, we kind of have had to do that here and there, but can't can't make any money when things are down.
But now you went last night. You knew we were filming with these guys. But
I knew yesterday that we were going to film, but it was funny. So my daughter called, and my wife was with our youngest at cheer practice in Springdale, and she was like, "You want to go to Gusano's?" I was like, "Yep." So I was telling you, we had the ghost pepper spread, and it was so good.
Yeah, you like
everything's good that you guys have. So
we've been running this pizza of the month type deal, and half the time it's to try a new item just to see how it sticks, right? Like chorizo or something that's not a staple. And so we're running this ghost pepper, and it's been interesting. It's delicious.
Yeah.
FYI.
And it's not spiced. Like, it's not. So Mallory didn't really want to get it, but anytime the pizza of the month thing's on, I'm like, we're getting that because I've never tried it.
Right.
If we don't like it,
and next month you can't get it again.
Yeah. So Mallory, she loved it, and she didn't think she would like she took one little corner, and then I saw her grabbing, and it was one of those things where I don't think people realize it was like ghost pepper cheese. It wasn't like ghost peppers.
Yes, that's
so it was. It was.
So it had a little kick, but nothing.
Yeah, just a little kick, and it's perfect.
It's a really sharp cheese.
Yeah.
It's got. If you put it on a pizza, we'll cut it with regular mozzarella as well, because it will. A bigger size pizza, it's
Too much.
It just depends on your threshold, but I think the name of it scares some people off, but it's a good item.
It's selling well too.
Yeah.
So if it does well, will it stay on the menu permanently, or
we'll probably try to figure out something. Our menu is pretty big comparatively speaking to where it was
That's
in
my
2004.
biggest problem in your restaurants.
Right.
I walk
Too
in,
much.
and they're like, the lady comes back like 15 times. I'm like, this looks good, but this looks good, but this looks good. There's so many choices.
What's your number one seller?
Well, the carnivore pepperoni is everybody's number one seller, right? And
That's Rob's face.
right, yeah.
He's like, you got to get pepperoni
It's
to
the
gauge the
steak.
whole
Yeah,
pizza.
right.
And he's like, that's the baseline.
That drops
that's
the
baseline.
baseline.
You know that.
I'm right there with you. But not after that. Our carnivore craze, which is our 4-meat pizza, traditional 4 meats, is right there. The moose head, which is one of the ones I brought, is right
solid.
there. Grubb's Choice is another one, and that's really. The problem is we go through. We bring on a new pizza, and it's not a problem, right? But when we're trying to pare the menu down, and we actually get the statistical data of the sales, it's like, well, we can't really take that one off. Well, we can't take that one off. And
Good problems to have.
It's a great problem to have, and very proud of that.
And then
fact.
you got to hear the customer that only comes there for that pizza. And
Right.
Like, how'd you do away with that?
We've taken a few off, but everybody that's traditionally ate them, we still make it for them because we're just trying to save the menu space. But
And they
we have
feel
the
special.
items, and exactly.
You know what they made for me off the menu when I was in yesterday.
Right.
Yeah.
You can create about anything too if you want to. So as long as it's not like a chorizo or something I mentioned where then we decided to discontinue it.
Right.
But it's fun.
So we had one last night that we had never had with. It was a Chicago style it had basil. It had it started with
The Didka.
Yeah.
I guarantee you.
It was
That was-
so good.
That was on my list of options to bring today. I was going through it with the girls at my office, and I'm like, "Well, we got to bring certain ones, And the Ditka is, it's phenomenal.
It's good.
Yeah, it's become one of my go-tos for sure.
Like the basil on it is just
it's
you have a bite of it and you're like,
It's kind of killing me sitting here smelling it.
So they do.
can we at least open a box?
Yeah, you want to?
Right.
You guys
Just don't cover up my face.
20 minutes ago, he told me that he was full. He didn't even think he could eat any pizza.
You guys.
Smelling it.
Oh, okay.
All right, so let's hold it up in front of the camera.
Oh,
Right in front of you here.
okay. Right here.
Nope, a little higher.
Oh,
There we go.
that'll do it.
That'll
Yeah,
do it. That'll
okay.
good.
So that one we brought, I probably should have done last, but it doesn't matter. It's just a non-traditional based. It doesn't have a red sauce base, right?
Okay.
This is our what we call the Dirty Bird, and it is our honey habanero sauce,
It's my favorite piece of the
right? And fresh jalapenos, pineapple, onion, chicken. It's We got this sauce, this honey habanero sauce that actually one of the cooks at Grubb's made for us.
Try it.
Don't be shy.
Rob's like, just keep talking.
There's
Ben, keep talking. I'm
there's
gonna
plates
eat.
now.
Sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
The girls said I had to bring y'all some ranch, so that's all in there. But
So that's the other thing. Our girls, your ranch is the best ranch ever in town.
And Claire, who I got to give a shout out to Claire, she's our operations manager. She's amazing. She's like, you have to take the ranch,
Yeah.
And this is a homemade ranch.
Yeah, we make it in the
it's
store
so
every day. But so I brought this one just because
Have you had this
it's
before?
kind of fun.
It's good.
It's my favorite pizza there.
Have you tried their ranch, Rob?
This is good though.
Yeah, it's growing up in Chicago, I'm like, you can't put ranch on a pizza.
Yeah.
I mean that's like putting ketchup on a steak.
Yeah.
You're probably gonna have
But
to have
people do it, and it's cool. I've gotten used to it.
Matt, have you had the Dirty Bird before?
I never have.
It is my.
Is that pineapple in there?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Which is crazy because I don't even remember seeing this on there.
Right.
So you used to have like, I used to get this chicken and mushroom a lot that you guys made.
Oh, you probably got the Leif Erikson. Had chicken, mushroom, tomato, and black olive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. That one is one of those we actually took it off, but you can still ask for it.
It's got a nice spice.
Yeah.
but it's got a little sweetness with the pineapple.
Right.
It's this one. It's my all-time favorite.
It's
Very good.
I didn't even ask you to bring this today.
no. I'll be honest. Every time I go somewhere and take food for people, this is one of the ones that's coming for sure. Just because people take to try it and they're like, man, that's pretty good.
But it's also unique.
Right.
Like, you go to any pizza place and get a pepperoni, get a sausage, get a 4 cheese. This is very different.
Yeah. It's
You all right?
It's good.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
No,
One of them hit you.
I'm good. I'm good. All right. I might go get a few more drinks. Anybody want a drink? We'll be right back.
You leaving the podcast?
I'm out. Let's go get some drinks. I'll be right back.
All right.
Mike.
I'm good right now. Thank you.
Just walked off the set. That's the first.
Yeah. You guys.
I brought, I did bring a traditional Chicago style pizza as well, just because it's what we're predicated off of, right? And kind of how we got our start. And interestingly enough, lots of people are like, oh, well, it's not like the one I ate when I, in Chicago where I grew up. One of the pizza places was different, right?
Yeah.
Illuminati's to Giordano's to
Wow. What's that?
This is a traditional Chicago style pizza, and I brought it because it's how we got our start.
The OG.
Yeah, it's the OG.
But I have to pause you as two New Yorkers, Northeast guys. This is like the New York pizza in Chicago. It's a big battle.
I know,
It's
right?
like the Northeast, East Coast rap versus West Coast rap. New York pizza versus Chicago pizza is a big deal.
It is, and I think I can see both points, both sides. I personally like every kind of pizza, whether it's from California, Detroit, wherever. As long as it tastes good, I'm going to get it down, right? I spent a month in New York working at actually the World Trade Towers, and that was what I pretty much had for lunch every day, right? 2 slices folded over, and, and that was my deal.
When I lived in Chicago, I'm a New Yorker, and I lived out in the suburbs out there in St. Charles.
Yeah.
And I learned to appreciate the Chicago pizza.
Right.
I was like, how can you eat that? I go, it's good.
Yeah.
Like, it's very filling.
That's right.
Very filling, but it's quite tasty, and it's very different.
Yep. And we've had to tweak it a little bit from, the luxury of in Chicago, they cook the pizzas at a slower, lower temperature, which I think results in a better product. Being here, we had to kind of hybrid because people are like, well, what do you mean it's going to be 45 minutes for a pizza? And you're like, but like I said, when I was a kid, if you didn't have 45 minutes, then you ordered a thin crust and just moved on, right? But otherwise, you pretty much went with the full expectation of you knew it was going to happen.
Rob, can you do us all a favor? Can you hold the pizza up to the camera?
Yeah.
Show the viewers what they're.
Yeah.
Look at that.
I mean, that's a good.
That's a winner.
That's a good looking pie.
Yeah.
Especially with me next to it.
Well,
We'll crop you out.
he has the direct line with the viewers. We don't.
Yeah.
We don't.
Remember?
Yeah.
Haley and Mom.
Yeah.
And my friend from Hawaii.
I thought you were going to reach in there and take a bite. Just get in.
I am.
You can.
So I love the Chicago style.
Yeah. All right, let's get in here.
Now, do you eat the Chicago style with the ranch also?
Oh yeah.
Me? It gets a little messy.
Ben.
It gets a little messy in the ranch.
I don't eat ranch.
Yeah, Ben said he doesn't do that.
Yeah.
Here, pass that along.
Now my wife
That's-
and kids.
It's heavy. It's got
So
some.
my kid's
the
favorite is the big cheese.
Yeah.
That's what they have to get, the big cheese.
Yeah.
Matt, grab a slice of field. This is like 5 pounds of pizza.
Oh, I know.
in
I
one
had
bite.
one. I had one last night.
But that's why I had to leave and go get some drinks.
I'm just making sure you're okay.
No, I was
We
fine.
thought we lost you.
Nah.
Thought he was
Now this one,
I mean, you can have a pizza without a cold soda, in my
Right.
opinion.
this is I asked them to prepare us a Italian sausage and green pepper, which when I grew up in Chicago, that was kind of a signature deep dish, right there with pepperoni or right there with spinach. Those were big time items that we brought. That I grew up eating.
That's a killer pizza.
So what I love about the Chicago style is leftover.
Yeah.
You can pull it right out of the refrigerator cold, and it's amazing just like that.
See, I'm a
It's
big
like-
sauce
It
guy.
gets better. Like the sauce, like just kind
Yeah.
of.
I'm a big sauce guy, and like for me, all that sauce on there, I love it.
Yeah.
Some people are like, "Oh, light sauce. That's
Sacrilegious.
Yeah,
That's
up there on the pizza. It's about the sauce, the dough, and the cheese. I mean, and not sauce it up. That's good.
That is good.
It's a great sauce.
I'm with you. If I get a pizza that's
dry.
no matter where it's from, it's dry.
Yeah, who wants dry pizza?
Yeah. Chicago, New York,
Yeah.
Domino's, whatever.
Right,
It's
exactly.
dry. It's dry.
Yeah.
It's good, isn't it?
I'll talk about the last one while y'all eat. But I brought the moose head, which I don't know. Do you have a camera you want this to go in front of? Or? Okay.
Gotcha.
Good job, Rob.
So somehow in college, I got the nickname Moose from my friends, and so when we first started the restaurant,
Was it from one of the girlfriends on
no,
He's like, that's for another podcast.
that's a different
I didn't get
podcast
that
there. But so when we opened the restaurant, the first couple specialty pizzas we had, we just like the Grubb's choice was a pizza Grubb. We all picked 4 ingredients, and that was that. And growing up, I ate pepperoni and green olive for almost exclusively, right? I mean, that was my deal. And as
It's a
I got
weird combo.
right, but my dad got me on it, and hey, who doesn't want to be like their dad usually?
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
And so,
My kids don't want to be like that.
well, when you're young,
Josh. It says a lot about you, Josh.
I know.
So was your first store in Little Rock then?
yeah, it was actually in Little Rock, and we it was fun. We opened a couple of weeks before the President Clinton Library opened way back when.
The one on the main strip there?
Oh, yeah, it used to be down.
Not
on
open
the
anymore there.
Riverwalk. That's correct. We long story, but about 9 months after it opened and it started doing real well, we realized, okay, man, I lived up in Northwest Arkansas for college and when I was a stockbroker, and I didn't really want to live in Little Rock full time. Once we kind of got it going, then the idea was to get back and expand it and start growing the brand right here, where that was where I was going to run the office out of and all that. And ended up selling the Little Rock store to one of our very first employees. And he ran it for a long time and then couldn't anymore. And but it wasn't our store at that point. So
I always thought that you guys started up here, so I didn't realize that you.
no, Bentonville was the second store, and which quickly led to Bella Vista, because Bella Vista was actually just a byproduct of Bentonville. Bentonville would get so busy, I'd have to work the hostess station up the front because it was overwhelming for them. So I'd go help them out, and the more I'd spend time talking to people, I'm realizing like, 25-30% of our customers are from Bella Vista. I'm like, I got to figure out.
Smart.
And so I'm like, I can take pressure off this store. Well, then we just open another monster, and it just, that one's a big time store.
Oh, that store is huge.
We go in there sometimes for lunch.
Which one, Bella Vista?
Yeah, the Bella Vista store, and you can't even get a seat.
So we would always
for
like on the we would always call both to see which one because we're kind of in the middle.
right? Yeah.
Well, a few times we've ordered them, and then we went to the wrong store to pick it up, and the ladies know because it must happen all the time. They're like, "Are you sure you called us and not Bentonville?" And we like,
Oh yeah, I called Ben.
Yeah.
I'll go over there.
You didn't add
Well,
Exactly. I'm sure you.
when you
have
call,
more
they're
than-
properly, they're supposed to say, "Hey, my name is so and so, and you called the Bella Vista Gusano."
and they do, they do. But you know how you have it in your
That's
head.
right. You just
And you get up there and you're like, oh.
yeah.
So.
And then, of course, you guys are like, can you just whip one up for me?
Well,
real
and
quick?
they'll tell you that.
Yeah.
They'll be like, if you want us to make one here, and then we'll be like, no, we'll just, it's 10 minutes to drive over there about.
So as you can see, I eat a lot of salads.
Right. they're delicious.
Well, that's one of their specialties too.
Well, that's
salads are amazing.
that's what I was gonna say. When I go to Grubb's, I always order the buffalo chicken salad. That's all I ever get there. I love that salad. Have you had that salad?
Mm-hmm.
Is that a
don't blame
big
you.
seller?
Oh yeah.
I love that thing.
Yeah, we I can't tell you, but we modify the buffalo sauce a little bit from what your traditional would be. Not a big deal, but it really kind of gives it a little extra.
Put a little ranch in
Dang.
it, right?
Yeah, right. Just mix it in.
Can you hand me a piece of moose head? I want to
Oh,
hear.
here you go.
I want to hear about the moose head.
Yeah.
So we just got the pig. Like I said, I was a pepperoni and green olive guy. As I got older, sausage became, I started to realize, Italian sausage is pretty good.
Italian sausage is
Yeah,
very good.
absolutely.
And as my palate matured, jalapenos became a real big part of my life. And I'm like, let's just put them all together and see what happens. And it turned out to be one of our biggest sellers. I think people get attracted sometimes to the non-traditional, just the deluxe, the Hawaiian, there's the core, which are all good. Don't get me wrong.
Are those green olives on there as well?
Yeah. You can get your
got this one
sodium
before?
intake for the day.
Yeah.
I have not had this one before. It's very
Oh,
good.
really?
No. I always go to the Dirty Bird.
It's tough to turn down.
I know, but this was good.
You got me on this Chicago with all that sauce. That your sauce is
That's my favorite.
a 10.
The sauce.
Well, thank you. That's I'm a sauce guy.
Yeah.
That's and I don't mean to disrespect any, but a more bland sauce is just not for me. Right. I like to put some flavor in it.
Like
so
big chunks. And
Yeah.
it's good.
So, and you own all the recipes. So, if you went to any of them, everybody would be clear. None of this is what it actually has to look like across the board.
yeah, I mean now, like everything, are you ever going to get possibly or maybe a guy's newer and he doesn't fully understand,
Right.
or she, whichever. Mistakes definitely happen. We have humans working, so that's part of it. But actually, like a long way, time flies, right? So probably at this point, 12, 15 years ago, because we make the sauce and the dough in-house, for consistency purposes, I started having all of our actual seasonings that go in them. I wholesaled them all and have them pre-packed so that when they come to the restaurant, now whoever's prepping it still has to follow the instructions on what to put in. But when it comes to the spices,
You made it idiot proof.
they just they cut the bag and drop it in either
'cause
one or two or
Everyone
however.
has different hands.
That's
The
right.
heavier hand on the salt or the pepper. Or,
Yep,
that makes
and
a lot of sense.
even as crazy as it is, but if McCormick's basil might taste different than, just slightly different than
Cisco brand. Or
right. And if so and so runs out and they just run to the local store, well, then all of a sudden, an eighth a tablespoon of garlic powder is really the equivalent of 3/4. And it's got so much taste in it, so much flavor that people are like, this isn't what I'm used to.
Well, and the hard part is you're always interviewing, right? Anytime somebody comes in for the first time, it's a possible Google review.
Right.
Google reviews are great or they suck, right? And
Right.
the bad ones are really bad. But like you want people coming back, and so if they have a bad first experience, second experience, they just won't be back.
Right.
The customers got very finicky,
Yeah.
right? I mean,
Yeah.
that's kind of the way it is.
Oh, I'll say that for our business, I'm super proud of a lot of the things that have happened, right? But our regulars is, to what you've been talking about, like that's where you went last night. We get so many people that just come 3, 4, sometimes 5 times a week, and that's like the ultimate compliment, right? Is coming back because you feel comfortable, you know, and we want our product to be good, but we also want to make the customer feel comfortable. I want our waitresses or our staff to acknowledge you. If you come in a lot and they see you, you know, just hey, do you want your usual Miller Lite, or are you guys doing the Dirty Bird again tonight? You know, like, just makes you feel, oh, hey,
Like
they remember me. Yeah, like just the little things. And it doesn't happen every experience, but from the amount of regulars we have, I believe it happens enough that they're listening to me sometimes, at least, right?
We talk about that often in here. I own a barber shop, and we've had a lot of folks in like you, and we talk about the experience more so than the transaction of what I'm eating or drinking, and the customer service, the way the customer feels when they walk in. If you walk in and said, "Mr. Nelson, would you like your Miller Lite and your Dirty Bird?" I'm thrilled, right? Like, it's just such a, you can get good pizza. There's a lot of good pizza places in town.
Right.
But the experience of feeling valued when you walked in, you can't put a price tag on it.
No, that's right. No, it's...
I do feel we have to apologize to the viewers because we really haven't been talking that much because the three of us have just been eating some isn't pizza.
So good.
We're like, it's like the quietest podcast we've ever done.
Ranch with those pieces.
I got more here if you
We
need.
got more.
No, I'm done. I can't eat anymore. I mean, that Chicago one's still looking at me. And
man.
that Dirty Bird I'd never had either. It's good.
Yeah, once you have the Dirty Bird, I don't even open the menu because the menu is hard for me because I can't. It's so many pages. I just go right to the Dirty Bird. I don't even open the menu.
So from that, you need to try the cheese bread, the ghost pepper.
The ghost pepper.
Yeah,
You'd love it.
You could actually this month add that ghost pepper cheese to any pizza if you want to. We kind of have it as a extra.
Yeah,
and like I said, it'd be like we're adding pepperoni. We're not going to use that only, but it's going to add to it and supplement it a little bit, you know.
I'm stuffed.
So any last comments on Grubb's, Gusano? Because I want to talk to you about your liquor store business.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, because you're just like the jack of all trades around here.
Well, you got to keep busy, you know.
But before we go there, 20 years, you know, in the restaurant, that's like, I'm serious.
Congrats.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
I finished mine, but all right.
Give me a little bit more.
Here. I'll try a little more. Sure.
But 20 years, like is it the customers? Is it the staff? Is it you and your partner? Is it like what's the secret sauce for? I mean, 20 years is.
Well,
it's amazing.
I'm not going to claim that my partner are smart enough to take the credit for that, so we'll go with the customers and the employees, right?
Because how many employees do you have across all your stores? It's got to be.
It fluctuates, but on payday, we cut 300 plus checks usually between all the stores that go out.
That's a lot of checks.
So, we're blessed. You know, I mean, we've got people that have we've got people that have been with us for 15 plus years, and we've got people that go to college and they go do their dream job, and then a month and a half later they're like, I really like it here, can I come back? You know, and they come back, and I feel like we've created a pretty safe work environment and pretty fun. You know, I have a saying at the end of the day, I'm like, we're selling pizza and beer. You know, I mean, nobody's dying on the table here today. We're not scrubbing in like this is. So when it does get hectic, which, you know, sucks for a few minutes, it's going to be over in a little bit, and we're going to go back to having a good time. And when you get done, we lock the door, you get to go home.
Rob, Matt, and I have a saying as well. We eat pizza and beer.
Right.
So like, we feel quite aligned with you.
Right. Yeah, but we've been fortunate. And same with Grubb's. We have tremendous regulars. You know, it's just, especially game days and stuff like that, the atmosphere is just so much fun.
I think Grubb's is the underrated in the Gusano's Grubb's piece because everybody knows Gusano's. Like the Grubb's right here. Like, I don't know if you guys get there often.
Buffalo chicken salad.
Right.
Or buffalo chicken salad.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, and their wings are really good there.
Yeah.
Yeah, the wings and the boneless wings. I don't eat the pizza there. That's what I go right for.
Right. So you guys moved in up here, you know. So Gusano's grew up here first, but, you know, in Fayetteville, Grubb's is a more recognizable name because Grubb's on Dixon was really one of the original anchor spots down on Dixon Street, and of the originals, we're the last of the standing.
Yeah,
there's not many of us left. Doe's is still down there, Bordino, but it's.
I remember being there for a lot of games.
Yeah, it was fun.
And we had too much.
Do you still
fun.
remember?
That was back in before we had kids days. So we had a lot of good times there.
Man, I'm forgetting the guy's name, but this is a fact. They probably 14 or 15 years ago, the main beat writer for ESPN at the time, and I can't remember his name, but he did like his preseason college football preview, and it actually said at the tail, he wrapped it up with, and they'll be calling the Hogs at Grubb's on Dixon Street when Arkansas wins the national championship. And it beats Texas in the national championship or something like that.
Great
And it was
marketing.
like,
Yeah.
what did that just say?
Sauce.
Is there another Grubb's? No, that's us. So it was cool. It was a national piece, and all my boys from Chicago were like, did you just read that? It was Ivan Maisel or whatever the guy's name was back in the day that was doing all that. Cool. So yeah, it was cool. It was a great shout out for sure.
That's awesome.
So as the serial entrepreneur, talking about Grubb's Gusano's, which is the homeland for you.
Yep.
In the last 8 to 12 months, you bought into a liquor store.
It's flown by to now 24 months.
It's 2 years?
Yeah. It's like, whoa, what happened here? We bought it with the intention of moving it.
So what's the name of this?
South Walton Spirits. It's in Bentonville.
On Walton?
On Walton. We've enjoyed it for 2 years, but the goal always was to move it to the Pinnacle area. Wes and I both live right down the road. We drive through here 42 times a day. I joke with people, I don't try any of the new restaurants unless they're in Pinnacle because I don't make it past here, right? To get to the highway to go wherever I'm going, I just stop right here and eat.
Used to not be the case.
No, but
now it's blowing up over here.
Yeah, I'm like, well, I'm just staying right here. And there's not a liquor store. We feel like what we want to do, our clientele is based here. We're hoping to be, it's not going to be a massive warehouse type experience. It's going to be a smaller, quainter store with what we hope is, and I'm probably have to bring you guys in on consulting, but we're going to do like a bookcase type shelf wall, that we're going to put like one of those old library ladders, just kind of give it that kind of feel. And I just envision it being full of bourbon. Hopefully we can get our hands on it, right? Yeah. It'd be more fun when
we know people that could
be more fun when we can get our hands on more. We have been collecting what we can for when we do move, so we're going to have a pretty nice allocated sale once we kind of a grand opening kickoff party.
Nice. Our real
Rob perks up.
He's been pizza there too.
Like after all the pizza, he was just kind of
like.
And as soon as the allocated sale, he was like.
It was like Scooby-Doo with the Scooby snacks. Scooby-Doo.
Hey, chance of like a little lounge or anything of that nature, by chance?
So, at the immediate, the answer is no.
No.
I was just explaining it to the guys outside.
Different license, right?
No, we could. I mean, right now we can't get the square footage we want to inside of Pinnacle.
Makes sense.
So we're going to take a start with what we got, and I'll correlate this back to Gusano's. This is kind of where I'm at. The Gusano's in Bentonville, for instance, originally was 3,500 square feet. It's now 6,000. Bella Vista originally was 3,000. It's now 6,000.
That's smart, though.
Fayetteville was 2,500. It's now 58.
As businesses fall off, you just take them over.
Yeah, or as we grow, we always figure it out. So I figured, let's get in, let's start growing, and we'll figure it out from there.
I feel like there's an announcement coming today about where you're going and when you're going.
We are going.
Hold on.
Right. There you go. Yep, you guys will be the official. Our family knows what we've been up to, but for the last couple,
we would know right after them.
Yes, and you do. And I actually just met Bobby right here in the parking lot and handed him our signed lease, and things are done. And hopefully we'll break ground on the construction. But we'll be right here next to the Walker Brothers spot, right outside this parking lot. But in the same strip center as Nukes and Orange Theory, we'll be on the end cap.
That's a great problem for me. These guys live a little further away, but for me, this is a great problem.
yeah,
it's huge.
I can almost drive a golf cart over here.
That's right. And we're going to try to keep our selection to a little bit larger, higher end, you can go into the neighborhood market and get some yellowtail if you're having a dinner party that justifies that. This would be more for you're looking for a higher end dinner wine,
Stag.
Ange will be in there buying the liquor.
Stag.
Are you closing the shop on Walton?
Yes. So we only have one license. So we bought that to acquire the license. So now as long as the ABC approves our move, which we've met the criteria, so
And do you own the space on Walton right now?
No.
Okay.
No.
So you just you just turn that lease over.
Yep.
And then you'll come over here.
That building actually just traded hands, so the new owners have a pretty good idea of what they want to do, and it just kind of
Sounds like
gave us that little extra push we needed, and we said, if we're going to do it, we better do it.
That's awesome.
And it's funny you say that. There isn't anything down here.
Right.
There's no liquor store around.
That's right. And we live in a neighborhood right here, and a lot of times on the weekends especially when it's nicer or whatever, we're at kids event or this or that, and all of a sudden it's hey, let's why don't we come to our house tonight? Somebody volunteers their house. Well, then it's immediately okay, I'll order the pizzas, I'll bring the beer, I'll get a bourbon, or whatever. And it's like, you can do most of that pretty close, but you can't necessarily. We're just looking for a closer option to go get your alcohol, right? Instead of whatever else you need. And so that was the goal.
The only bad thing is now Ben's going to have to supply everything at every party.
Yeah, that's right.
Can you get the alcohol and the pizza? It's kind of your wheelhouse.
Right? Yeah. That's right. You'd be surprised.
Somebody had a problem with that.
People are, my good friends are very aware and cognizant of what I'm willing to bring to the table too much, so they always try to make it where I don't have to bring anything, and I'm like, no, let me handle that, and
but that's what I appreciate about these guys is because he's very generous and he's not quite as generous.
Whatever.
No, I'm just kidding.
That's fair.
No. These guys are very generous, and so sometimes you worry about people taking advantage of them.
right.
And so like last night we were out at the bar, I'm putting my money down. Like, no, I got it. But you want people in your circle that are not going to take advantage of your
You were
generosity.
trying to put down $100 bill for 2 beers. That was a little too much.
Well, but I took back 40, so I was going to give 60.
You took your 40 from me.
Yeah, it was whatever, but no.
Right? But you want people that say, because you don't want people to be in your circle that are taking advantage of your generosity. You want people that are going to offer stuff back up to you.
Right. Which, hey, sometimes if you're just a good friend, I don't really care what you bring to the table.
Yeah,
just give me your time and let's talk about some things. And
I love that.
Chew the fat is what they call it,
We've
or
been
whatever.
trying to get Josh to think like that. It's hard.
It's a journey.
He's kind of straight laced, so we're trying to get him to.
Until you get me out of the
veer
country.
off
And you get me out of the country, I tend to loosen up a little bit.
That's a whole nother podcast.
I want to come back for that one.
wants this, so we can't say anything about that
No,
trip.
I can't say anything about that trip.
We saw him have fun for the first time in his life.
Oh, man.
No, I'm just kidding.
Maybe it was the second time.
All right.
The second time. Yeah.
Yeah, your wedding was the first time. Sorry.
My first divorce was a blast. Shout it. No,
We're gonna have to
no
cut.
shout outs.
Good thing Josh edits all these. Shows.
Oh, yeah. Let's move back to the liquor store next door. 'Cause what's the name of the store going to be?
We're going to name it Tipsy Pig. Is the plan. That's always been the plan. Now, that's subject to change between now and then, but that's when we bought it and incorporated. We incorporated as Tipsy Pig LLC, doing business as South Walton Spirits. So, there's a lot of Razorback restrictions. We're not trying to be a Razorback. but we just kind of acknowledging
Playing off.
that's where we're from, right?
Yeah.
We're in the land
That's
of
a
the
good
pigs.
name.
That's a great name.
And,
Good name for a boat.
Yeah.
right?
We were working on boat names this past weekend. Tipsy Pig's another good name.
I'm looking for a boat name too, but
Oh, you and Matt should figure it out together.
It's hard to come up with the
you know,
name.
right? We've been trying to incorporate pizza into it somehow. It's like a slice of something, but we can't.
Yeah.
We just
What kind
can't
of
get
boat do you
that.
have?
It's a Cobalt. We just got it, so we haven't even.
Those are nice.
Yeah, it's we're excited.
Yeah.
It's currently titled Under the Radar. So we're
Now you know you have to have an official renaming ceremony.
right.
No, I'm serious.
Okay.
Rob found that out the hard
Yeah,
way.
Okay.
we had a boat and we renamed it and didn't do the official ceremony. And
What's the official ceremony entail?
Shatter a champagne bottle on it.
yeah, you gotta.
He like got off the sage and everything. It was
Yeah,
a
the whole
deal.
thing.
I wasn't there, but
Like Caddyshack.
Yeah,
so he didn't name. He did his own changeover on another boat.
and it was
Rob and I
nightmare.
took it on a trip, and one of the engines blew up.
and then the guy.
And then
hit
a
by the
month
hurricane.
later, it got destroyed in a hurricane. So Rob was like, I could never change the name.
So that
Without a
has nothing to do
hole.
with the armrests falling off?
No,
I mean-
no,
Different. Very different.
very different.
Very different.
That fell off because of like
The weather.
that was joy.
Sorry, Ben. We went off.
About that pizza.
Like Matt said, I'm glad Josh is going to be able to edit a lot of this out.
Well, let's end it on a high note. Thank you for coming in.
Absolutely.
Excited for everything you got going on.
Yeah.
I love the longevity, like 20 years and continuing to evolve.
Yeah.
Can't wait for the liquor store to be here where I can pedal over on my golf cart,
Right. And-
pick up some stuff. And I appreciate you coming in and seeing us today.
Yeah,
The food
absolutely.
was amazing.
You'll have to have us out to the grand opening.
I would love to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you guys ever do something remote?
Oh,
You
we'll
ever
do it for sure.
Okay. We're gonna build a little loft, I think, up top. That's gonna be kind of an industrial storage.
We call it
and
the Nelson Loft.
right. We might have to think of a way to make that our shooting area or something like that.
I love it.
Thanks for coming in.
Absolutely. Thanks for
Cheers.
having me, guys.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.